As most of you know, Spider-Man No Way Home came out about a week ago. I'm recording this the day after Christmas, so the reason I couldn't see it is because, I've had a lot going on, but I finally got to see it today in the theater. Fun fact, this is my second time this year going to a theater or watching a movie in the theater. In fact, it's the first time and pretty much the only time watching a movie in the theater we went to. The only other time we've watched a movie in a theater was earlier this year the only other movie we saw in a theater this year was earlier this year, and that movie was Godzilla vs. Kong. I had a good time with that one as well, but this, of course, second time in the theater this year, and gonna be the last, of course. First, then last. But anyway, do I have any flaws with this movie? I will admit that it does feel pretty long around the middle part. Like when I got to the middle, I was like, yeah, can we hurry this up already? And I didn't know that this was technically a crossover with the first three Spider-Man movies to come out in the early 2000s, and then also the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I thought there was three Amazing Spider-Mans. Turns out I was wrong, and there's only two, but that's enough. Anyway, I was wondering how they'd handle the plot where and of course, I'm not gonna go for too long because I'm not a movie go addict. I usually talk about video games more often. I'm gonna start doing video game reviews, but I guess I should. I just want to get my thoughts out about this. When I see a movie I really like, I just want to get my thoughts out about it. Because first time watching it is kind of is a lot of the time the best experience you'll have. Now, the way they handled, and also spoiler warning, just in case you haven't seen the movie yet. I think the plot point where how it goes down after Mysterio, posted that video. I thought it was handled decently well. Even if it felt like it didn't feel like Spider-Man got out too easily. Like, people still didn't like him. Of course, that Jameis, I'm sorry, I don't know his name. The the guy on the TV, he's like, Spider-Man is an absolute menace. That guy. The beginning was actually I thought was well handled. And the part where they couldn't get into a college because, Peter Parker and also his friends were friends with him. When he made the decision to make everyone forget he was Spider-Man, and he toyed with the spell too much, I thought the whole movie was just gonna be about that plot. It was technically, but I thought it was gonna be like way more significant. Wasn't, but hey, and I didn't want Doctor Strange to be in the movie for too long. Thankfully, he wasn't. He didn't overstay his welcome in that movie, so he was there for long enough. The what am I trying to say? Anyway, Doctor Strange, yeah. So he's not in the movie too long, even if he does include a lot of important plot points. I don't even know, man. I don't watch movies for story. I watch them for enjoyment. Sometimes story does get me, but I'm there for the entertainment. So I don't know anything. I don't really care. If the plot's not good, then then it has to be fun. And I mean, a lot of people say that they expected it to be a messy movie that was a lot of fun, kind of like Space Jam: A New Legacy. Turns out it's a good movie that's a lot of fun. God damn it, I got a haircut only a few days ago and it's already huge. Yeah, I was supposed to record. Yeah, also, if you're wondering, just a little side note, I will be posting my full playthrough of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. And let me tell you, I put myself through so much torture to play that game because I do not do free roam horror games. So, yeah. Anyway, back to Spider-Man. Where was that? The beginning. Yeah, the beginning. So then, Doc Ock is there. When Doc Ock came, I was like, ooh, it's time for some action. And honestly, I feel like one problem with the movie is that I don't think Doc Ock was in there quite long enough. Like, he was in there for like 10 minutes at most, like at the very most. Maybe? I don't know. Now, it's not like we needed him in there. It's not really about Doc Ock. He's not even the main villain of the movie. He's sort of just there. Honestly, I thought that part where he got into a fight with Spider-Man or Peter Parker was actually, I actually thought it was cool, especially when they both used their forearm things, and how Spider-Man got control of Doc Ock's arms. Anyway, the Zend. So yeah. Then, then they find out by Doctor Strange that they have to get those people back to their respective universes. The monsters. Yeah. And I thought that part where Doctor Strange and Spider-Man get into a fight, I actually thought it was pretty well made. It is kind of weird how Spider-Man managed to beat Doctor Strange. I mean, Doctor Strange is like one of the most powerful Marvel characters, but who cares? Anyway, the one thing, and also Aunt May, I will say I actually liked her a lot more in this movie than the other two Spider-Mans. In Spider-Man, in Spider-Man Homecoming, she was there. She was pretty important. Nothing special. In Far From Home, she was there again. Nothing too special. In this one, I think she's the most important in this one, especially the sad thing that happens in around the or closer to the end. When they get into the part where they go and try and find all the other monsters or the guys. I will say the part where he gets into a fight with the Electro guy. Well, I don't know why. I thought he was really entertaining in the movie. And the Sandman. I don't know why the Sandman teamed up with Peter at first, and then he decided to turn on him. I really do not get why he did that. Anyway, and then they decide, what, let's just cure these bad guys. They cure Doc Ock first. They don't get a chance to cure the other guys because well, now here's the thing. I'm not talking about a lot because I want to focus on the more important stuff. The highlights of the movie. Of course, a lot happens. We find out MJ, works at a coffee shop. Yeah, that's what it was. And in the parts then when Green Goblin takes over that one guy, I didn't actually expect what happened to actually happen. Like when he decided, when he told all the other bad guys that they shouldn't listen to him and they should just do what they want, and then they just did. Yeah, I thought that was done well. And Doc Ock turning good. I will admit, some might say that it wasn't a good idea to turn him good. I honestly liked it. I mean, we've seen Doc Ock evil so many times. Why not have him good for a change? Now, the that part. And yeah, so and then Spider-Man gets into a fight with the Green Goblin, and then you know, and then all that crazy shenanigans, and then that building they were in lights on fire. I will admit that part where um MA tries to put that cure stuff in the Goblin and it doesn't work, and then his he flies his hoverboard into her, and then everything just rain, and then all the explode. Oh yeah, also Peter Parker got beat the hell up real bad, like he's getting tossed around everywhere, just burn. I didn't know Green Goblin was actually physically strong. I mean, I've never seen the original Spider-Man, but I probably should now. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to watch the other Spider-Mans. Anyway, I'm not gonna lie. When that happened, I was like, oh no, is Emma gonna die? When she got up, I was like, oh, okay, she's fine. Then when she fell and died, I was sad. I was like, well, where'd this come from? She got up. She looked fine. And then she just died. And when Happy saw, man, poor guy. Poor guy. When, anyway, that, yeah, and then Ned and Zendaya, I'm sorry, I can't stop saying Zendaya. Ned and MJ, because Ned has a portal thingy after Spider-Man fought Doctor Strange, then he opens a portal for Peter, and then when it was there, I noticed something was wrong. The way he looked, I was like, and then the way he was acting when he saw the portal, he looked confused. I was like, is that Parker? And once he jumped in the portal, I was like, yeah, that is not Tom Holland. That ain't that ain't the Spider-Man. That ain't no Tom Holland Spider-Man. And he unrevealed his mask, and it turns out it was Andrew, the guy from the Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Not gonna lie, I was shocked. I actually didn't think he'd be in the movie. I know a lot of people saw it coming, and they were like, why not include him, And then he was there for a few minutes. I thought the part where they found out he was a Spider-Man by having him crawl up a wall to take down some web, And then they opened another portal to try and find Peter. And then they just open it to Tobey Maguire. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I was expecting that or not. I was like, okay, is this gonna be Peter? But I had a feeling, I was like, this actually might be, or is Maguire? I was like, keep on saying wrong things. Is Tom Holland gonna come, or are we gonna get some special? Are we gonna get some more special treatment? And then, whoop-de-doo, freaking Tobey Maguire comes in. Now, I want to make something very clear. I have never heard a theater cheer or do anything. When we went to see Avengers Endgame 2 years ago, that was about, 2.5 years ago, or two and 3/4, whatever. No one clapped. I didn't hear any cheering at all. And I've never heard cheering. Not in anything I've ever seen. Not even in entertaining movies. Maybe I've heard some people close to me laughing at funny moments. When Tobey Maguire stepped in, the whole theater started clapping. It was like, the comedy shows, where they have clap tracks, where you can just hear clapping in the background, or in a comedy or just in a comedy show where everyone's sitting down and watching and laughing. Yeah, that happened. They started laughing and clapping, and I honestly, and that's never happened before. Now, I mean, my dad's experienced it. He went to when he saw Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, which was the first, which was the first of the, which was the first of the three parts. Apparently, according to him, once that movie ended, the whole theater erupted. To be clear, I've never actually been in a theater that erupts. Honestly, I'd like to be there one day, because Anyway, but yeah, the whole theater just started clapping, and I've never heard it before, so I was amazed. Like, damn, the theater's clapping to Tobey Maguire. Apparently, they really like that guy. Anyway, so then they go over to Tom Holland. Not at this point. I'm gonna have to start saying the actors' names because I'm gonna have to start saying the actors' names because I'm gonna get them confused. I can't say Spider-Man. This is Spider. Because do you expect me to call Tom Holland Spider-Man, MCU Spider-Man, that Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, the other Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man? No, I'm just gonna call them by their freaking actors' names. Anyway, um, I'm not gonna lie. I really like both the Tobey Maguire and also the Andrew, Spider-Mans. I really hope I'm getting his name right. I know I'm saying Tobey Maguire right. I'm just hoping I'm getting Andrew right. God damn it, if I'm getting that wrong. But Andrew, if I'm wrong, then Andrew, I'm referring to the Amazing Spider-Man. And I've never seen the Amazing Spider-Man or the original three, so yeah. Anyway, but the part where you just see them on the top of the building and then they just come down, I was like, wow, this is cool. And then they go and fight at the Statue of Liberty, and the Statue of Liberty is holding a Captain America shield. The final battle is really well made. I will admit the lizard, that little lizard guy, he wasn't there at all. Like, he was there for a few moments. Apparently they really hated him. I don't know why they put him there. Why not Rhino or Scorpion? Those are more prominent Spider-Man villains. Anyway, man, the Green Goblin, for as not many scenes as he's in the movie for, he's actually really menacing. I'm surprised he wasn't in the final battle for as long as he was, I'm surprised he was. I think he should have been longer, spent a little bit more time in the final battle. But honestly, that's just a nitpick, because then the battle would have been too intense. And okay, now where they have to turn all the villains back to normal. They start off with Sandman. The electrical guy was interesting. I'll just say right now. And then Doc Ock, and then right before the electrical guy, I keep on forgetting his name, can do something to Maguire and Andrew. Freaking Doc Ock comes in, and he just takes that power thing he just takes the battery out of electrical guy, and just freaking shoves that thing that was meant to stop him from, or stop his electricity. I think it's good to, for once to actually have Doc Ock as a good guy, because, sometimes you want to see bad guys, you want to see these classic bad guys doing good things. I mean, there's no way in hell they could get away with making Green Goblin a good guy, that's for sure, but... And he's technically the villain of the movie, because even though he's not necessarily from this universe, he's still, he murdered Aunt May and caused a lot of trouble, so, And I thought, and then, yada yada yada, more fight, and then, when they dropped Zendaya and Tom was about to grab her, but Green Goblin just swoops him away, and then Andrew saved her. I think that was like a callback to one of the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I don't know which one. I think maybe the first one or maybe the second one. I don't know which one, but where he drops her in the Amazing Spider-Man, he shoots a web, and he catches her. Well, the web catches her, but she hits the ground either way, and then in this movie he redeems himself and he actually saves MJ. I thought that was handled well. Made it. It was like nice. It was an interesting way of saying, or interesting way of him learning from his mistakes. And then um, I thought the final confrontation between Tom Holland Spider-Man and Green Goblin, it was really good, because you could tell he was pissed off. Like, you murdered his aunt, you're gonna get a beating, and he just freaking, you know, he just freaking goes ape shit on him. He's tearing the Green Goblin apart, and you can see. Mm, the yeah, the Green Goblin and Peter Parker get into a fight. Now, um, I mean, yeah, he goes ape shit on him. Like he says, he's like, "Why didn't you leave me for dead?" or something like, and then Tom just goes, "I'm," like he just says he wants to kill him, and then of course Green Goblin's all happy about that, like any villain, and then freaking Tom Holland just beats the shit out of him, and he was gonna kill him, he was gonna murder him. He grabbed that hoverboard, and he was about to freaking impale him with it. Of course, Maguire came in, and what I really liked about the scene where he like stopped Tom from doing it, he didn't say anything. He was just looking like, "Dude, if you do this, you're gonna regret it. This is a bad idea. You should do this." And he didn't say anything. He just, you know, he was just doing it through facial expressions. And of course, Tom decided not to do it. Only for Maguire to get stabbed in the back, but he lived he lived. He literally said he's gotten stabbed multiple times. And of course, they heal the Green Goblin. Well, they kill the Green Goblin and they save the guy he was possessing. Bro, when that scene, with that, when the scene when that scene where but that scene where the alternate dimension thing gets loose, and then Doctor Strange said there's nothing they can do to stop it, and Tom realizes that it's his fault because it was technically his doing. He undoes it by, well, he tells Strange that the whole universe should forget about him. Of course, Strange doesn't like that idea because because that would make his life miserable. But he insists on doing it, so he does it, says goodbye to his friends. Bro, that part where he tells them, and then they just start crying because they don't want to forget him. And he said he'd have them remember him, bro. That hit me real hard. And then he cast a spell and everyone forgot. Now, one thing I will say, the part where he's walking around saying he's Peter Parker, I was like, oh damn. And then there's a part where Jameis something, I keep on forgetting his name, I don't know why, don't ask why, I just can't remember the fucker's name. He talks about Spider-Man, but never mentions Peter. Yeah. So people still remember Spider-Man. So, but they don't, like, it's weird because they remember Spider-Man, but they don't remember Peter Parker. So they, for all they know, so so it's basically gone back to them being oblivious to who Spider-Man is. And of course, Peter Parker, and then he goes to the coffee shop and he was gonna try and tell MJ, he was gonna tell MJ that about everything before she forgot about him to try and have her remember him, and then he just decides not to because, well, the way he was gonna do it was not the right way to do it. He was gonna just act like he was just gonna try and make her remember, but like that's not how that works. So he just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna order a coffee, and then he doesn't ask her. I don't know if he's gonna try and ask her later, or if he just. I don't know if he's gonna try and ask. I don't know if he's gonna try and become her friend again later, or if he's just gonna become, or if he's just gonna let her go. I don't know. Either way, the and I'm not gonna lie, that part when he decided to leave without her remembering him. It's the first scene to make me cry in a Marvel movie since Tony Stark's death in Endgame. Once again, bringing up Endgame. Bruh, that scene just made me. It hit me hard. It hit me hard. Harder than the Aunt May scene. I actually started crying. Well, for a little bit, it was brief, but I cried. Man. That was, what a movie. The end credit scene was of Venom. I just realized at the end of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, he's at a place, and then he teleports somewhere else, and then he sees Spider-Man. I think. Wait. So he sees. So he's at a place, and then he teleports. He's at the same place, but someone else is there, and then he sees. That must be weird. Okay, but then they see they see Venom, the guy from the 2018 movie, and Let There Be Carnage. Honestly, I'd like there to be a crossover between those two, but it doesn't appear there is gonna be because he just leaves. So honestly, that was kind of disappointing. But they both are owned by Sony now, so I'm amazed Sony made a better Spider-Man movie than Disney. Oh yeah, speaking of which, this is the new best live action Spider-Man. This is the new best, or my new favorite live action Spider-Man movie. Keep in mind, I still have yet to see. If you don't agree, keep in mind I still have yet to see both the original 3 Spider-Mans and the Amazing Spider-Mans. So yeah, Spider-Man. And that's where the movie ended. Now, is it a perfect one? Not really. Where would I rank it? I'd rank it up there with, like, Avengers Infinity War. It's pretty much the best Marvel movie in the past 3 years. Of course, I'll have to do a little more speculating and rewatching to find out where it really ranks. But if it's better than Infinity War, then that means it's the best. Then that means it would be my favorite Marvel movie ever made. So, still gotta rewatch those two. Really find out which one I like better. But I think I like Infinity War better still. Even then, yeah. That's Spider-Man No Way Home for y'all. If you liked it, cool. If you didn't, I don't know. Talk to you later. Bye bye. Oh yeah, it's better than Homecoming and Far From Home, by the way.